Hello, welcome back into another video. Well, in today's video, we're gonna talk about cross-site scripting vulnerability or XSS and every type of cross-site scripting vulnerability that you can find in a real web application. Plus, I'm gonna show you all the tips and tricks that I use to find these vulnerabilities on web application, on bug bounty also. Well, if you're interested in learning more about XSS and every type of XSS, please click the like button and the subscribe button, and let's just get started. Well, as you can see right here, cross-site scripting vulnerability is an attack or type of injection in which malicious scripts are injected into otherwise benign and trusted websites. XSS attacks occur when an attacker uses a web application to send the malicious code. So let's just say I'm an attacker, instead of searching for something like a pizza or searching some search term, for example, let's just say I'm searching for a pizza or shoe, or I'm looking for a red dress or looking for red pants. Instead of typing this string right here or this search term, I type an executable code, which is going to be JavaScript or an HTML into the web application. So the web application here will not see your search term as a text, will see it as an executable code. So it will take your executable code or malicious code and it will execute it into the web application. Well, let's just go into real world application. As you can see right here, as you can see this lab right here, which is a basic one. If you type, for example, on the name, let's just say my name is Alex and click OK. As you can see, hello Alex, and we have a parameter called name equal Alex. So we looked for Alex and saying hello Alex. As you can see, Alex is reflected on the DOM. So what if we replace Alex with some HTML or JavaScript? Let's just say we're replacing Alex right here with H1, okay, with an H1 tag, which is an HTML tag. If you don't know HTML, please go learn HTML, at least understand the basics before you try to implement this vulnerability. So we try hey1, okay, hey in an H1 tag, we go H1 and we click enter, and as you can see, the hey, it's not reflected as before. Before it was just a simple text, but now it will it's executed as an HTML code. If we go inspect and we select on hey, as you can see right here, hey, it's on HTML tag, which is an H1 tag, okay? So the attacker now will send this URL to the victim and try to manipulate the code of the web application. As you can see, the H1 right here is a part of the web application. Let's just say we replace the H1 with, let's just say we replace it with an iframe, with an iframe source, okay? And do evil.com and click enter. As you can see right here, evil.com. So the attacker now is injecting his own malicious website into this website, which is going to be the main application. Well, the first thing you should do when you look for an XSS or for cross-site scripting vulnerability, as you can see right here, it's reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability type, because we are typing something. As for example, we type Alex and we click enter. This type is reflected because Alex is being reflected into the DOM or the HTML source code of this page. Okay, let's just get back. If you're looking for cross-site scripting vulnerability, the first thing you should look for, which is an HTML injection. For example, right here, we did not start by looking for, we did not inject any JavaScript. The first thing we did is we looking for reflection. For example, right here, we looked for Alex. Okay, so Alex is reflected, okay? If we type Alex is reflected. Okay, so what if we add, as you can see right here, if we add this right here, we click enter and we select right here, edit as HTML. As we can see, it's filtered, but what if we add H1, okay? We try to add an H1 and click right here and do edit HTML, and as you can see, the H1 is not showing, but as you can see right here, the H1 here is empty. So we can inject anything into this DOM right here. If we want to inject the script alert one, which is the famous script, okay, we click enter. As you can see, a pop-up right here will pop up for us. Sorry, we have a mistake. It's going to be script, not script. Okay, because you can see our JavaScript is executed. So The first thing we did, okay, the first thing what we did right here is we looked for some reflection into the web application. We looked for something is reflected on the web application. For example, we typed Alex, got reflected onto the web application. Then we tried to inject an HTML tag. Then when the HTML tag worked, we injected a JavaScript code. As you can see, a script, which is a script tag that should usually run a JavaScript code. It's kind of stealing the cookie. For example, we do right here, we can do a document, okay, cookie. It will show us the cookie of the web application as we have right here. It's a demo application. It doesn't have any cookie on the app application, but if it does, it will show you the cookie of the victim. So that's the first kind or the first type of XSS. Let's move to the second type, which is going to be the DOM XSS. Okay, so let's just go this XSS lab right here. If we type, for example, Alex and we click enter, there is no parameter right here, so you cannot send the URL to the victim. You cannot send the URL to the victim. For example, this one right here, if we modify, this is the reflected type. If we modify, we do script, okay, we do script alert one, okay, we copy this and we can send this to the victim. If we go private window, we send this link to the victim. Sorry, we did not copy this. We do copy, we come back right here and we do right here. We click enter. As you can see, we can submit this link to the victim and hack his account or try to redirect him into another page, or stealing his cookie, or stealing some CSRF token, or whatever you are trying to achieve. But in the DOM type of XSS right here, you cannot just copy the link and send it to the victim. There is multiple ways to perform DOM XSS. For example, right here we typed Alex and it's saying hello Alex. If you go back right here and try to replace, as you can see, we have Alex as a reflection. Alex is being reflected. Okay, Alex is being reflected. We come back and we click Alex, search is Alex is being reflected. So now we try to add an HTML tag. Okay, so let's try do h1. Okay, the h1, hey, okay, as you can see, the hey is as you can see, hey right here, it is reflected as an HTML tag. We click here, as you can see, h1, hey, edit, it's reflected as an HTML tag. Now, after we try to see the reflection, we try to go for HTML tag because we don't want to directly try for an XSS or inject an XSS payload, because some application have some restriction against JavaScript code, but they do not have a restriction against HTML. But the first thing I told you to do is try to look for HTML. If you have an HTML code is being injected on the web application, then you try to escalate this to go to an XSS, okay? So we try now inject a script tag, okay? So we go script tag and go alert, alert one, script, okay? And click enter. As you can see right here, the pop-up and the JavaScript is running. So the alert one is just an example to show that our JavaScript is running. You do not send, if you're into bug bounty, you do not send a POC with just an alert one and saying, oh, I found an XSS in X report on X web application, and you send them the alert one as a POC. No, you should never do this. This is beginner stuff. If you wanted to get more bounty or escalate this vulnerability to get more payout, you need to escalate it and show them that you can actually do account takeover. For example, you try to steal the victim cookie, you try to steal the CSRF of the victim, or even inject a fake login page into the web application. So when the user tries to log in, it will not log in into his account to the application login form. He will log in into the attacker login page, and you will get his credential, and you will show the application from XSS to account takeover. This is how professional or expert in bug bounty do, and that's what it actually needs to do to get these big payouts for cross-site scripting and maximizing your bounty. Okay, so for now we're just having a normal page. It's a post. Okay, so we cannot send this right here to the victim. So what we can do, we come back right here and see how our XSS payload right here is being handled by the application. So we have burp suite is on, so we go back and do intercept on. Okay, sorry, we need to close this one right here, the private window. Okay, so we need to do intercept on and we click enter. Okay, so now we have the request that is sending our payload. We can do right here. I always recommend to you, when you try to inject a cross-site scripting vulnerability, or sorry, a cross-site scripting payload, do not just inject it on the web application, because as you can see right here, the application is URL encoding our code or doing some restriction or trying to delete some parts of our code. Okay, so what I recommend to you, you come here into the place that our code is being injected and try to inject your payload on the request, okay, to see and get the 100% result from the server. So we do script. Okay, so we come back right here. So that's the URL encoding version of our payload. We do copy and we paste it here. Okay, and we do apply changes, as you can see. So that's the request is sending our payload. So what we want to do to deliver this kind of post message, sorry, not post message, it's another different type of attack. So this is a DOM post type of cross-site scripting. So if you want to deliver this into the victim, you need to link it with like a CSRF vulnerability. So we want to create an HTML page that posts a request, that sends a post request to the host, this host right here on this path, and sending a name parameter with this value. So we copy this right here and we go to a private window, okay, and we do, sorry, we need to turn, okay, we do CSRF generator, okay. You can pick any CSRF generator you want. We do accept and we click, for example, this one right here, and we do start using. Okay, then we pass the request. Okay, so I copied all the requests that we got later. So that's the request we got, and it generates us another HTML page. Okay, so this HTML code right here, we want to copy this and go and create an index.html file. We do nano index.html, we click enter, then we paste the payload or the HTML code that we got from the CSRF generator, and we click paste. Okay, and we save it, X, and now we need to do a live server so we can deliver this link to the victim. So instead of sending a normal link to the victim, for example right here, we're not going to send the ctf.ao.com. we want to send our malicious or our controlled website to the victim, so we can make a post request, so our XSS payload will be executed on the victim account. So what we need to do, we do http.server, we do it on port 8081 because 8080 is for burp suite. So we want to open this link right here. So this link right here is saying a form CSRF POC. If we click submit request right here, it's showing us on the ctf.ao.com our XSS payload is running. But why it's running? If we come back and try to intercept the request that this page is sending, if you click submit, as you can see, it's sending the same thing as the past request. So the past request is sending a post message to the post path to the host name of ctf.ao with a parameter name, which is name, is doing the same thing. We just need to make an HTML code that will send this to the victim, or try to make a CSRF form to send this malicious request from the account of the victim or from the victim session. So now we move on to the next type of XSS, which is going to be stored XSS. Okay, so what is actually stored XSS? So stored XSS, that you send a payload, and this payload will not be on the URL or on the HTTP request, it will be saved on the database of the application. So that's the third type of XSS. So this application right here, as you can see, it's a normal application. We have a post, as you can see, user security headers. You have all these posts right here, and we can comment. There is a comment section, okay? So in the comment section, the attacker, instead of sending a normal comment, for example, this is amazing job. For example, the attacker send amazing job, okay? And we click enter, okay? So we can see our comment is showing up right here. So this is our comment. But what if the attacker do not send a normal text or do not send a normal string? He will send a malicious code. For example, let's just try an H1 tag. Let's say hey, and we click enter. As you can see, the hey tag is reflected as an HTML code. As you can see right here, it's reflected as an HTML code. If you do edit HTML, you can see the hey on HTML code. So now we know that our page here is vulnerable to HTML injection. Now we move on to the next step, as I told you before, is try to inject cross-site scripting payload. For example, let's just do SVG, we do image source X on error, okay, confirm 1 and click enter. Okay, so as you can see, our XSS payload is reflected on the page. So what is stored cross-site scripting? As you can see right here, these URL, these text right here, or these comments are saved on the database. So everyone or every user, when he come to see these things right here, he will see our XSS payload. So let's just say we send this link to the victim. This is a private window. We click it right here, and as you can see, our XSS is popping out, or it's showing us that there is a JavaScript, malicious JavaScript is running into this page. So as you can see, this is the third type of stored XSS. So I'm going to show you some tricks, some tips that you can use in your hunting when you're trying to hunt for a web application. Okay, so let's just say I'm trying to go for Red Bull. Okay, so going for Red Bull application, we're trying to hunt for Red Bull. I want to look for an XSS on this application. Okay, so the first thing I should do is to click every button right here. So click on this one, try to click in every button you find. For example, every search term, do right here. We're gonna look for search. We want to look for everything. Okay, we want to type anything right here. We do gaming, we click everything right here. Okay, I want to look for something. For search, I want to look for example, XSS right here, and see if it's reflecting. For example, right here, you can see it's reflecting our XSS. That's good job. So the second thing, as you go through the application, you click every button, you click every functionality, you test everything, you copy the domain. This is what I do. You copy the domain of the application, you go to the target, scoop, and use advanced scoop control, and we pass right here, which is redbull.com. We click OK, yes, and we go proxy, HTTP history, and do show only in scope items and show only parameterized request, and we click apply and close. So right here, as you can see, these all the requests that redbull.com is sending to the server to see all the requests that have parameters that's sending to the server. For example, right here, this redbull.com is sending a request to the Red Bull server with the parameter filter type, okay? The stories, videos, images, galleries, and profiles, person. And you can test these parameters right here. This is a tip you can use to get all the URLs having parameters into the app application, and you can test. You can test right here, for example, RB page URL. Here you can test the URL, open redirect. You can test right here XSS. You send this to the repeater, and look, for example, if we do XXX and we send it, and we want to look for example, this is for 404, there is nothing. So what you do, you try to send a request with some text right here, and you look for it. If you find a reflection on the page and you try to play it, you do an H1 tag, you do an XSS tag, etc. So as I told you, these are all the requests that are sending the request to the server to get some data. Okay, so for example, right here we have a parameter called filter, we have a parameter called for the URL slung, we have a scheme. All these URLs, you can test them, you send them to the repeater, you go to the repeater and try to play with this request. Okay, so you try to inject an HTML tag. If it works, you go escalate it into an XSS, and as I told you before, you should never send an alert one to the application or the bug bounty platform and say, oh, I found an XSS here. That's not how it works. So the second trick I use actually, there is an extension I really like, which is a BootLogic XSS extension by BootLogic. I did not install this before. I just install it, GNOME XSS Community Edition. I just add it to Firefox, click right here, and okay. As you can see, we go to the basic one, basic lab right here, and I just click, for example, I want a red shoe, okay? I'm looking for a red shoe. For example, this extension right here, what it will do, it will scan. For example, right here, it's already XSS, as you can see, XSS found, it gives you the URL and opens the tab for you and say, oh, I found an XSS here. As you can see, the payload that they used an SVG onload confirm one. So this payload right here is really complex and also helps you to bypass these strict firewalls rules. So let's just try it on another, for example, right here on an input right here. So an input, let's look for www, we click enter. And we click on our extension, we wait, and as you can see, it found an XSS for us. So all what you need to do is just install the extension and leave it into your browser. And if you get through some input, when you type an input or some parameter on the URL, you just click on it and it will pop up a page if it have an XSS with a customized payload they use. For example, right here, they use the closing quote tag and the SVG onload and confirm one. This is how you used, this is the payload they used, okay? So now I'm gonna try to open some labs with you. For example, right here, let's try look for XSS and see some reflection. Thank you for entering your name, XSS, okay? I want to look for sorry. As you can see, the XXX is not showing on the page, but it is showing on the source code of the application. For example, if you're looking for XXX, you can see that it's reflected on the title tag, okay? The title tag, which is supposed to be on the header. So what we want to do is close the title and click enter. So as you can see, our closing title tag right here is closed. So what we can do script alerts and one, and we close the script, okay, we click enter. As you can see, the script tag is reflected as an HTML. So we'll just remove this. Okay, we click enter now. Okay. Okay, title, script, whatever. So what we want to do is try to, okay, do like this. It's not showing. Why it's not showing? Script, title, okay, script, alert one, script, no problem right here. Okay, maybe we need to close the tag. We need to close the head tag. Let's try to close the head tag right here and click enter. Okay, title, head, script. Okay, let's just try SVG, onload, confirm, right here. As you can see, we already closed the head tag and we typed our SVG payload and it's reflected our page right here. If you click on the extension, as you can see, it will find our XSS for us. It will just test every payload they have. For example, as we did right here, they closed the head tag right here. As you can see, they injected an SVG, confirm onload. Okay, it's the same thing as we did. We closed the head tag and we injected the SVG XSS payload. Well, these are the three types of XSS. The first one, which is a reflected XSS that can be sent through the URL. As you can see right here, we can send this URL to any victim we want, and we can inject his page by reflecting, for example, reflecting a malicious page. We can do iframe, source, okay, source, evil.com. So evil.com, it's supposed to be a controlled website by the attacker. So okay, we have an evil.com, it's not showing. Oh, we need to do source. We click enter. So right here that we can do sizing like height, just try do height 1000 and width equal 100%, click enter. And as you can see, this page is controlled by the attacker. So this page right here is affected by the attacker. So the attacker can here inject a login page or trying to do, I don't know, like inputs to steal the personal identification of the victim. He can do everything basically. If you cannot steal the cookie of the victim, there is multiple ways you can try to convince the application that you can do account takeover. For example, we inject a malicious login page to steal the credential of the victim. So these are the three types of XSS. There is a reflected type of XSS, there is a stored XSS, and there is a DOM XSS. So these are the types of XSS. There is other type like a blind XSS and like post message XSS, but those are advanced types of these three right here. But if you want me to make another video of advanced XSS, please let me know in the comments. And well, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my explanation. If you want to learn more about this kind of vulnerabilities or get a one-on-one coaching by me to help you into your hacking and bug bounty journey, please click the link on the description to know more about. Well, this is the end. If you have any question or any something that you did not understand through my explanation, please type it on the comment section. And thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button, and see you in the next one.